would be kind of like our segue into 5G. Like if we have a system right there, I would assume on the business end, it'd be like, okay, that's our into being in those areas. Yeah. Okay, now can we put a 5G system right now?
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to having to build new towers here, there, wherever. You know, that on the business aspect, you know, kind of look at different angles. But really depends on who's going to actually pay for all those towers, where they're going to be built.
Yeah, all these cell companies are going to be paying for it. You know, they're investing. I know T-Mobile's investing a lot into it, Verizon and AT&T and Sprint. You know, so it's coming. It's almost like, do we remember all of the 4G towers going up? Like, I don't.
No.
We just have. Like, and we all have smartphones now. And it's like, do we remember 15 years ago all this stuff happening?
No.
I mean, I do remember like people complaining and calling out like, oh, this is going to give you cancer and you shouldn't be talking on your phone and you're going to get brain cancer and stuff like that if you have it to your head too much. Right. And look at us now. We're using hands-free devices. You know, so we don't even, like, who talks to their phone to their head that often? Like, hardly ever. It's a lot of texting. It's a lot of, you know, social media and stuff like that.
And even with that, like, I actually was watching like a special, and I you know, only because I wanted to educate myself a lot more. When people were saying, you know, all that whole cancer stuff, trying to do as much research as possible. I mean, I haven't seen anything that was like, can pinpoint, yes, you're getting it from this, or yes, you're getting it from that. There are coincidences that some things happen here and there. But the one thing that was super interesting is hypersensitivity. Never heard it before. But supposedly it's a thing, and you can be diagnosed with it, to where people can feel your microwaves, your cell phones, your Bluetooths.
All the frequencies,
all the different frequencies that are out there. People are hypersensitive, and that's a thing.
That's a thing.
So those people actually have to seclude themselves away from your normal neighborhoods and towns, because
wear tinfoil hats.
You know, you know, it kind of seemed that way, but instead of looking weird and whatnot, doing all that, they just rather say, the hell with everything, go live in the woods. So they have, like, in the mainland, they have different areas in the woods where, you know, these people are just straight cut off from everything tech, pretty much, where they cannot feel these things because it gives them ridiculous migraine headaches. You know, they throw up, they have convulsions, all kinds of stuff. I'm like, damn, I that was just shocking. I couldn't see myself showing up to a customer's home and they're telling us that, and I'm like, okay, maybe you need to get away from civilization in general, right?
Like, take some aluminum foil and wrap it around your head.
You'd be surprised. We have people throwing up foil on their windows.
I believe it.
All over the place. But, you know, there are some that are really, really in tune with that type of health, and, you know, some of them kind of go a little far with it. And I told them, well, you know, really, if you haven't been diagnosed with hypersensitivity, I would say look into it, because if you are, then you're going to constantly be affected by this. But then our customers, obviously, we go back to that house and they're still the same and whatnot. So it's like, okay, I tried to help you out. You know, what can we do? Go get some help.
Yeah, those people, they got to understand, like, that's radio waves and, you know, microwaves, and that's how the television airs throughout. I mean, it's all frequencies, vibrations, and stuff like that. It's just different, you know. So if you have that kind of hypersensitivity, it's like, well, do you have that with radio?
Yeah. Or in TV. Do you watch TV all day? Yeah. Okay. So does that not give you a headache? No. Okay. I'm pretty sure you're not hypersensitive. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But tech is awesome. I mean, tech will always be around. But it's always interesting to see, because it seems like every 6 months, whatever you bought 6 months from now is you're too old now. You know?
No, don't say that.
You're too old now. Whatever
I can't afford laptops every 6 months, man.
Well, that's why you gotta get a very, very good one. I mean, I like Apple. I mean, Apple's awesome. Some of the newer PCs are good. Alienware's top gaming. I mean, those guys are bad. But for me as a regular user, I mean, I usually use Apples for computers and all that. Phones though, Android.
Oh, so you use a Mac computer, but then Android phone.
Yep.
See?
Yeah.
He knows what he's talking about.
Macs are awesome computer-wise, but I mean the Android phones. I mean, I'm buying $1,000 phone. I'm gonna make sure I can use that phone to the fullest. I don't want to be told what I can or cannot do.
So you're an ordained minister. Right?
Yes.
But you do more than that when you do parties and weddings and stuff, right?
Not too much. I leave it there to do more.
How did you get involved in that?
Oh man, it's actually a pretty funny story. So we have my other half has, you know, a best friend, and she hooked up with her now husband. But you know, we were going through the planning process of, you know, just being support, you know, thinking that, okay, whatever we need help with the wedding, you know, we'll go ahead and do. And then we had a dinner at a friend's house, and I was asking them like, hey, so who are you guys gonna have marry you guys? And they both are like looking at each other and like laughing. I'm like, okay, what's the joke, guys? Like, I didn't make a funny or anything like that. It's like, oh no, we were just talking about this last night, and we thought that you'd be awesome at marrying us. I'm like, you guys really are crazy. Because now, you know,
where did they get that from?
I think he was just doing some stuff online, and you know, just knowing me for so long, and they were just like, I think it would be awesome if you married us. I'm like, you guys really are crazy. Because like their relationship was pretty damn quick for, you know, all of us. They hooked up, they like bought a house, had 2 kids, bought a brand new car. Like it was just so fast within like a couple years. Like we're just like, damn, you guys are nuts. And then we're getting married, you know, on top of that. I'm like, oh, wow, great couple, great, awesome, you know, family they have. The little boys are awesome. But yeah, they did that, and I was like, you guys are really, really crazy now, like super crazy. Because I actually asked them, because I knew of an ordained minister that could do that could marry them. And then they're like, no, you know, we had that conversation. Go back to work, and it's kind of bored. So I started looking it up and trying to see, what did you actually have to do? So maybe like half an hour later, I'm getting a couple emails back and forth between a ministry and then the state, and then I get these printouts saying that I'm certified to marry people. I'm like,
so you get that in one day?
Yeah. Well, actually sent it through and then emailed back like the next day or something, or a couple of days later, sent it into the state sent it back a couple of days later, and was like, okay, you got your own number, certification, everything.
Nice.
You're online. I'm like,
here we go.
Is this real or what? Like, you know, so go ahead, and we have our next meeting right for the wedding, and I think we were at 99 Ranch, and we were sitting down, everybody's eating, whatnot, and I brought my folder with all my papers. Then I kind of just like stood up and dropped it in the middle of the table, because it was a circle table, dropped it in the middle, and I kind of walked away. And then they're like, what is this? So they started looking through it, and then they're like, is this for real or what? I was like, I don't know.
He's like, wait, we were joking. He's like, well, I wasn't.
Well, I mean, they were like, no, they were actually more surprised. Like, oh, is this for real? Because that'd be awesome. Like, is this? I was like, I don't know. We'll go ahead, go through it and try it. And then if you guys get a license at the end of it, hey, great. You know, then it works. So sure enough, we went through the whole process. And for me, I like to, because it was my first one, you know, it was like, oh my God, I got to make sure, you know, I do everything right. Try to do all my research. And it was funny because I made so much people laugh that day. It was hilarious. Like, so my friend's husband, Nick, you know, he was a very big Instagram like poster. And like for me, I wasn't a social media guy or anything like that, but he would post every single little thing that they're doing. And I'm like, you know, that's a new thing now, whatever. But I kind of flipped it on him on his wedding day. So I go, okay, you know, I introduced myself, this and that. But first, at that time, there was that whole song, like, let me take a selfie, right? That was a song at the time. So I told him, okay, wait, first, let me take a selfie. So I pulled out my phone and I turned it to everybody, and I turned back and I told him, photobombing is encouraged, so everybody get in. So I turned around, sure enough, bridegroom, everybody come up. Everybody in the back is like shocked and laughing at the same time. Snap a picture. You see me on my phone real quick, boom, post it out. Reason is because I explained to them, I was like, oh, well, you know, everybody knows that, you know, Nick likes to post everything on Instagram. So I just wanted to make sure.